This is why I was late uploading. An hour late. 2 hours late now. It's 1 o'clock. I hope to see my girl here, but it is Saturday. She could be doing some other things. Yes, my teeth look yellow because my lipstick is dark, and that's what happens when your lipstick is dark. I talk about a lot of stuff, but I'm just gonna put Chanel. That's what I need. Y'all. Okay, this is how you know. You know what? So needless to say, I can't inhale today. So it's all ingestion. My decor is not very visible today. I should have put it on my nail. My voice is trash today, but y'all used to that because I usually distort my voice or filter it or somehow. But I'm live now on Patreon. I holla. And that's fine because I'm liable to redo this anywhere I can. I hope that I can repost a video, excuse me, without losing my comments in this way. I should be able to, right? I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. It's a little chilly. And I was burning up a minute ago because that's just how it goes. So I haven't had a decent night's sleep in a couple of nights, which is still fewer nights than Mr. has. But anyway, let's get right to this. I absolutely do every chance I get. But, excuse me. But yes, every chance I get, I use hemp wick. The video I was going to do was on the different sizes. There's a 2 millimeter, there's a 1 millimeter, which is half this size, and there's a 1/2 millimeter, which I imagine, I haven't used that one, I imagine is even thinner than both of these. The moral of the story was that there are pros and cons either way, and although I'm sure, the reason why I wanted to try them all to see the pros and cons of all of them, and y'all know I don't trust nobody or nothing, so so I don't just believe everything I hear, so I wanted to try it for myself. Now, the reason why someone would get a thicker hemp wick, move it, baby, stick it, baby, move it, baby, stick it, baby, The thicker one is good in general. Well, they're all good, but this this is a fire hazard for AF because they market it as windproof. So I presume that people who are using their wick outside would prefer to use the thickest one. But no matter what, it's a fire hazard because once you blow it out or once you put it out, you can't be sure it's out because it's so thick and because it's beeswax and it burns slowly but a lot. Anyway, not safe whatsoever. The good news about this is still bad news because that means it's still a fire hazard. But the good news about it is that it has trained me that even after I put out the flame, I need to douse it with my fingertips because to make sure the cherry is not still lit, because you can think you've blown it out and you can set it down and the end can catch whatever's on fire because that still can be smoking. It's dangerous. The 1 millimeter is ideal. It lights, it holds the flame till you're done. You can actually put it out in the bowl. Like sometimes I'll light it and then I'll just douse it in the bowl to put it out. But the good thing about this thick one is that it trained me to that no matter what, even if I have something I know I've blown out completely, I still douse it with my fingers. And I'm sharing that lesson with you because that is a very wise habit to have, even if you can positively trust your ability to put your wick out. Yeah, so there's that. Not really. I just have crazy dreams in general, but I've always had clairvoyant and lucid dreams my whole life, but a lot more when I was younger. A lot more they subsided quite a bit since I've been old. Excuse me. What does happen though is if I meditate and get in a warm hot shower. I don't know if that counts because if you just get in a warm shower, even sometimes when you mean to go just hop in and hop out, a nice a hot shower will molest you and you'll stay in there for way longer than you intended to. So if you meditate before you take that shower, you're gonna go even further into that rabbit hole. It's a beautiful, wonderful, universal galactio hole to go into. But you ain't be in there thinking about everything. That's why I came up with shower sessions. Now I only posted it was a shower session, but it was a groove shower session. And so I was listening to music or whatever, but whether I have music in the shower or not, my mind goes all over the place. And I quite like where my mind goes when I'm meditated in the shower. I'm new at this personal eyelash thing. Like I worn them on set, but personally, I never have. But I'm finding them to be beautiful. I mean, on other people. So I decided to join that bandwagon. Everybody got a bandwagon, right? I just choose not to join the stupid ones. You ain't gonna get me to wear no Lunel eyelashes. And I love Lunel, by the way. Very much. Thoroughly. Oh man. It's a bomb-ass fan. Adele Givens fan. But I don't know how this thing does it, but it grabs so much air, and this is the best hand fan that I have ever seen or used, hands down. See, I'm cold. Okay. I guess you just go ask me an appropriate question and whatnot. The answer is no, hence why I'm not inhaling today, and I'm instead ingesting. Why I like to record these and then upload them. I'm just gonna have to start paying more attention to my Patreon, and then I'll just be interacting with my Patreons throughout the day, every day, for whatever videos y'all watch, whenever you watch it. I'm so unpopular right now that I can just keep up with whatever y'all are watching at the time. So you can go back and watch something and comment on it, and I'll come back and we'll just be talking about it. I like me enough to do that. Plus, even from the outside in of myself, that's such a hard thing to say. But even from the outside in of myself, when I go back and watch some of my videos to look for one little thing, I'll watch the whole thing. Honey, my mind is a fascinating vacation place spot, even for me sometimes. I'll be like, man, I was lit. I don't know why I haven't been showing that off. Y'all can't hear that, can you? I don't know how Patreon is with their copyright joint. So anyway, this ain't a group set. So no, I don't smoke when I'm sick. Already ain't nobody got time already for the recovery time. That's what I'm keeping my hot tea water in. We're gonna have that conversation, huh? Yes, absolutely. Why did it take me so long to just say yes? Is it smoking spiritual to you? Absolutely, 100%. That doesn't help me know what the question was at all whatsoever. For those of you who don't know, when someone asks you to save them some greens, it's because people are in a group puffing and passing. And it's thought to be ill-mannered to smoke up the ball without leaving a corner of greens for whoever the next smoker will be. So I can't relate to that a whole lot because I just can't relate. I mean, it's too accessible now, so first of all, with my experience, I'm the one that be like, I'll take what people don't want. They think they think the bowl is cash, and I'm like, no, there's more in there. And they think I don't know if they think it feels or tastes nasty, or if they taste ash or resin or whatever. But I'm not hooked. Like, they got this new strain, they got this new, they want to call them like cultivators or growers or whatever, but whenever I see colonizers, unless I know they're not racist, whenever I see colonizers balling out in the industry, I'm going to call them drug dealers. I'm going to call them weed slingers. Weed slingers. No, drug dealers. No, they weed slingers, because the drug dealers are the actual physicians. Yeah, I said it. So, yeah, weed slingers. If y'all not gonna stop murdering people who look like me and ruining their entire lives and the lives of people that love them behind this shit while y'all ball out, I'm gonna reverse the stereotypes. Y'all know how y'all say erase the stigma, and when you have an event, everybody at that event looks like a great depiction of what the stereotype is. Then I'm gonna stereotype colonizers for what they are. Cause like I just saw a post today. I lost it. I'll go back and get it later because I know who posted. But I had these two little girls. I mean, excuse me. These two Beckys, because they weren't little girls. Probably like around 18, 19. So I'm going to make them grown-ass women the way you make our little Tamir Rices and grown-ass men. So these two these two adult-aged, because they're not even adults, but these two adult-aged Beckys carjacked a car. And so in the headlines it says, such and such and such and such went for a joyride in a stolen car. And then so a brother came back and said, no, get this headline right. These are two thieves and they stole a car. That's what happened. You know, they worded it all pretty for, this ain't about that. The point is, I don't know what the point is. Because colonizers got me on one. And complicit Negroes got me on one too. Not much, because I want to stay within the legal limits. So whatever happens, I want to stay within the legal limits. Because the war on drugs is not over. Because you can best believe, if they can pin anything criminal on anybody, they're going to slip in there. If you're black, they're going to slip in there that you had marijuana on you. Whether you actually had it on you, or they could put enough on you for it to exceed whatever minimum amount. I mean, they do whatever they want to do. But know that I stay within legal guidelines. So if they ever get me and say I did some bullshit, they set me up because I'm honest about my shit. I can't say I was when it was illegal, because when it was illegal and I was doing it, it was illegal, period. And I wasn't willing to go and get a medical. Let's just say I believe you go on a list when you sign up to be a medical patient, and I wasn't willing to go on that list. I hope they don't get y'all, but if they do, I won't be in that group of people that get. That's all I'm saying. A couple. No. Does that shit even work? It just feel like when I see people hotbox, I don't feel like it works. How do you get high from being with somebody else? How do you hotbox? I've seen even people blow smoke in other people's mouths and stuff like that, and why? Why? Like, why? Even if I love somebody, I don't need them blowing. I can get my own smoke. You don't have to blow it in my. And it seems like you won't get as much potency from used smoke, even if it hasn't been inhaled. It doesn't seem like you'll get the same potency. So why? Why hotbox? Unless hotboxes is just smoking with someone else in a enclosed environment. But I'm talking about the hotbox where you just be in a smoke-filled area. That don't even. My lungs don't appreciate even the sound or potential feel of what that might be like. My lungs are screaming right now at the idea. To be fair, I'm under the weather, so my lungs are screaming at a lot of stuff. But yeah, there's that. I've been through some stages on this as well. Everybody has this, like there was some stuff called 40, I think. Some of you guys know what that is. I don't know what the whole name of it. It's some kind of 40 something, glass cleaner. I can look it up right now, but we don't have time for that. I'm going to move on. And there's also, I had some green clean one time, and they all did okay. And the reason why I started buying those things was because everybody was like, try alcohol. And then you could just use salt to scrub it. You know what I mean? So just, soak it in alcohol overnight. So I did that, and alcohol didn't clean my stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now this gonna sound crazy. Alcohol didn't clean my stuff. So I started buying all that other stuff. And when I started buying all that other stuff, there were certain parts that it was cleaning it, but there were certain parts that weren't getting as clean as I would like to see. So I was like, something gotta give. I was like, okay, what I'll do is I'll use my strong, cheap dollar store glass cleaner that's super strong. It'll take the paint off some shit. I was like, I'll use that. Because the reason why you don't want to use something like that in the first place is because it's toxic, of course. And you want to make sure, if you use something like that, you got to rinse it all, make sure it's all rinsed out. I said, what I'll do is I'll use that. And then I would wash that out really well to make sure all of that was gone. Now, since then, I created a substance that you can use for bong water that actually keeps your glass cleaner as you use it. So you can use it longer in between, and you can have fewer cleanings. But when you do clean, that shit'll rinse right off. The problem is it only works in the area where the water can get to. And I had something with a percolator at the top, and that percolator would still have resin on it. Everything else would be crystal clear, but that that percolator would have resin on it. I keep looking at it. Percolator would have resin on it. But I invented this bong water stuff, all natural. Okay, if you took a shot of it, it wouldn't do anything. In fact, it might taste good. But, you know, I don't recommend anything like that. Yeah, I used that for a long time, and I really loved using it because, like I said, when it was time to wash, I could get the sprayer on the kitchen sink and spray. All the resin would come, literally break off. So that worked really well. But again, that top percolator wasn't getting clean. And I was so frustrated with this. Like, what the hell? Then when I went to Vegas, I got one of those tiny, I always admired them, but I never bought one. Those little tiny bongs. I want to call it a finger bong because it's that tiny. But anyway, I got one of those. I loved it. I still love it. It's so cute. It's so cute and effective. Like, it works. It's not like a miniature version of something that doesn't work as good as the big version. It works just as well as the first version. And then you don't have a lot of big equipment if you have company and have been conditioned to be ashamed of your adult use. That's just you. You know, usually it's just, that's just me, but this time that's just you. But although I'm not ashamed, I still don't want paraphernalia laying around everywhere. I just don't. I don't have liquor bottles. I didn't have liquor bottles everywhere when I drank. So I don't want, because although I'm not ashamed of it, I'm not announcing it. I'm not soliciting people to hear my personal business either. Oh, and so the last thing I did was recently, within the last year, I got fed up. I can't remember what got me fed up. Oh, I know what happened. So, okay, where I got the little thing was, and make sure I don't incriminate myself. I mean, I haven't done anything wrong, but I know how qNas like to dress stuff up, so I'm just being clear. So when I got the little thing, I got the little bubbler in Vegas. So, because I bought several of them. The reason why I bought several of them is because the ones I used there, I was going to leave there. Because I didn't want to travel with any paraphernalia that had any residue on it. So I don't want no trouble. I'm black. I don't want no trouble. So when I brought my new little mini bubblers home and used them, and then once the resin got collected on them after use, I won't lie to y'all, I tried to use my concoction in it. And again, the concoction works beautiful where there's water, but the stem, the down stem, it was collecting resin that wasn't coming off with just a cleaning. So what I did was because the little bubbler is so tiny, I put the whole thing in a bag with some alcohol, and I just shook it up in there. I didn't even shake it up for long, because they say soak it overnight, but I just shook it up, and I looked at it, and I was like, man, it's looking kind of crystally shiny. Shook it up, and do you know that alcohol cleaned it? And I was like, what the hell? This alcohol never, if you would have did that in the first damn place, then when I first heard that alcohol could clean glass like this, I might could have believed it. Why was you tripping all that time? I tried several times. I tried several times to use alcohol to the point where one of those times, not more than one of those times, where more than one of those times, I actually used salt as a scrubber to help it, you know, scrub inside of it, to no avail. But here I am on this, shaking this little tiny bubbler up in a bag of alcohol, and it is getting crystal clear. So I'm like, well, let me try this again with the larger piece. And sure enough, it worked. I didn't have to soak it. I didn't have to soak it overnight. You could if you wanted to, but there you be. Needless to say, I've been using alcohol ever since. I wonder if I was trying it with 70% alcohol before, and now I use 90% alcohol. So I wonder, 91. It comes in 70 and 91. But I wonder if that isn't a significant factor in how well it worked. But anyway, bottom line, I'm back to alcohol to keep my glass clean. And now I think the bong water I invented to keep your materials clean. It's kind of like a wash. I don't know what I would market it for then. So I'm glad I didn't start getting it manufactured and putting labels on it and selling it and shit. Although I imagine it could still be useful for people because you could still use it. Make sure I'm not missing any comments. So I feel like the best way to keep your glass clean is alcohol. Which is very nice, since alcohol plays a role in a number of things and wouldn't raise any suspicion by you buying alcohol. I've tried tolerance breaks, not for the sake of taking tolerance break, but because it was convenient to take a tolerance break. Either I was away or working on a project in a state where it wasn't illegal for a while, and I used that as an opportunity to see how tolerance breaks work and how effective they might be. And I also have been sick before, where I know that smoking was not going to help my throat or lungs. Now, mind you, there is cannabis that is good for respiratory issues. We can't be too extreme with everything. And if you're gonna support something, you have to be real about its cons. That was low key a Jussie Smollett pun, but I'ma chill because this is a Grown Talks video and this is about cannabis. But don't get me started. Yeah, I've had inadvertent tolerance breaks that I consciously used to experiment on how effective tolerance breaks are or are not. Oh, and the results of said tests were, yeah, it didn't really matter either way to me. Now, I do think there's some validity to, if you don't use cannabis for quite a while, if you have a tolerance break, whether it's deliberate or not, and then when you go back to smoking, it'll seem more potent than it traditionally would. But I believe that may be true. That may be a true result of said testing. But I am of the belief that if you don't do something like that for a long time, when you go back to it, there's an enjoyment. You enjoyed it. So there's an enjoyment that you miss. And having missed that enjoyment can give the illusion of making you higher than usual, I believe. Because you technically are higher than usual because you're high on the excitement of, I get to hit my shit again. I'm back home. But no, I've never considered quitting. But I do give great consideration of being attentive to my access, since I know that the people you trust in your government have wicked intentions, and they have allies in the industry out here on all fronts. And you can believe that. I'm finna date myself with this one right here. The first CD, first of all, the first cassette I ever bought myself. The first cassette I ever bought myself. Word. I bet cassettes to millennials are like LPs are to us regarding our older sibling, our parents. Like, they had records. They used to put the actual needle on stuff and make it for it to play. And then when our older siblings came around, they actually had the record players that could play multiple records. It dropped down and the needle by itself would go play. I know they thought they was balling in. And then our parents had 45s. They had different sizes. Anyway, y'all don't know about that. Except some of y'all are grown, so I know y'all know. But to answer the question, the first cassette I ever bought myself was Anita Baker. I think it was a songstress. I'm pretty sure. Don't tell me I'm gonna need some Kleenex. Don't tell me. It's really kicking in now. I know you can tell. Here we go. And I should have took it, because instead of doing it just before I started, I did it about, I guess, a half hour before I started. So when I started, I was normal. But now I can tell what you can tell. How about that? This is assuming I have a career in cannabis, and I don't know anything. Matter of fact, y'all know that, right? That's my disclaimer on all the knowledge that I put out there in the universe. I don't know shit. Don't listen to me. And then those who know will then proceed to listen to me, because I be knowing. I be surprising myself with what I be knowing. That's how much I know. It's because did I do these already? Answer was because purples are primarily indicas, potent indicas. And I'm middle-aged. I'm trying to get shit done and still enjoy it. Like, if you can be lit, I get it. It's fun. It's knowledgeable. You can, even if you're sitting there doing nothing, it's deep. It's conscious. Would you ask me, was it spiritual to me? It's spiritual. If you're a grown-ass person and you know you can have all of those benefits and be lit and still be productive, why wouldn't that be your option? Yeah, I don't smoke a lot of purple, not because I don't like it or because I wouldn't even love it. It's because I'm not trying to always. I'm at the age where I worship my sleep, but I'm not trying to always take naps. That's how we got where we are. Y'all want to sleep through everything. And the earth is my friend, so I'm the earth's friend. So I'm friends back with the earth. As humans, that are the problem. Absolutely. And I think homophobes are bitches. Now, before you celebrate, let me let y'all know why I think they asked me that question. I think that person asked me that question because they think I'm a homophobe. And they think I'm a homophobe because I never believed Jussie from day one. And that's a whole ass another video, but let me tell you something. And specifically Zerlina Maxwell. Okay, because somebody made her feel stupid for believing that dude. And maybe she should feel stupid for that. Maybe y'all should feel stupid for it. Y'all shouldn't be made by other people to feel stupid, but maybe you should feel stupid because you chose to believe something that was clearly untrue. Every part of it was untrue from the first day you heard about it. You chose to believe that, and you deep down in your heart, you knew better. You even had something somewhere in you that said, but what if he's lying? And then that other extremist bitch on the other side of your shoulder said, no matter what, believe all victims. You don't want us to believe all victims. Stop lying to yourself. You want us to believe all stories. This means that and they want us to believe all stories, because if we believe all stories, then they can put whatever in mainstream media they want to, and then everybody, which everyone is conditioned, everybody will be brainwashed to do, be, and behave and love in whatever way that they feel like you should. That is respectability regulated ways that they think. Because I don't have no problem with respectability products, so don't get that twisted either. There is a way to be respectable in the public eye. So there's also that. Like I said, I go on all extremes because I'm balanced. And that's what's wrong with motherfuckers today. No balance. They think it's a sum-in game. They think that you can't hear an obvious lie and call it an obvious lie without being an asshole. Zerlina Maxwell said, if you default to non-belief, you are just an asshole. You know, you glad, like we was waiting on the edge of our seats, and there was some people like this. Okay, I'm not saying there's nobody like that, but like people were just waiting on the edge. We were just waiting on the edge of our seats. I can't wait till you get caught in this lie. Really, it don't have nothing to do with him for me, because sociopaths are gonna do what they do. To me, it's all the people that were rallying behind him so strong, and apparently still are, because you bitch done call people assholes for not believing an obvious lie. Whether he orchestrated alone or which I believe that there are much bigger parties that y'all will never know about. He's just a sociopath enough to sign up to participate. But there's some shit y'all will never know about. And guess what? The orchestration is being carried out as planned. All the way down to him getting caught. You think that wasn't also part of the plan? Of course you think. Of course you think that. Jussie signed up for this. The thing is, there were a lot of part of the plan that he wasn't let in on. So he got to get used as a scapegoat, because he signed up for something else, not knowing that they had other plans for the whole scheme to play out. And that's exactly what it's doing. But don't worry about him; he'll be fine. He's feeling some kind of way, but it'll all work out. I'm glad my girl didn't show up, because I'm gonna have to edit the shit out of this. She can come back and watch it later. She can come back and watch it anytime she wants to. She got access to all of them. I love you, Gigi. Oh, you know what's funny? I didn't know it until I said it out loud, until I said your name out loud, right? And it occurred to me that my name, one of my aliases is Gigi. That's when I can go out in public, and if somebody said Gigi, they could possibly be talking to me. So it was fun, but mine is not spelled with a. Anyway, mine is with a G. So that's the reason why, as we've been interacting, I see the J, and I didn't think twice about it. But only when I spoke your name out of my mouth did I go Gigi. Because we always add each other, but when you add somebody, you don't actually say the name out of your mouth. So I said your name out of my mouth, and as soon as I did, I realized, I was like, wait, people call me Gigi. It had something to do with another social media page. I'll let you know if you want to know. I ain't gonna tell everybody, but I'll let you know if you want to know. But you ain't missing nothing. That at the end of the day, you ain't missing nothing. So, I need to eat this. That would be Mr. That's quite a story. I've told that story time a couple of times. Let me know if you want to hear it again. It's some story. And I was the initiator, for the record. Because I'm a PK. So, he got blindsided. He never saw that coming in a million years. That I would say, hey, babe, what do you think about... Word? That's what you want to do? Yeah, so Mr. was the first person Oh, I did tell it because it was 3 different stories. Like there were a couple of efforts before this, before I finally did with Mr., but I ultimately did with Mr. Oh, but supporting gay rights. Yeah. So basically, Zerlina, you don't have just because you know a lie, an obvious lie when you see one, doesn't make you an asshole. And what you want people to do is believe the story and not believe the victims. Because just because we didn't believe this story does not mean that we don't believe actual victims. It don't even mean that we haven't been, bitch, actual victims. How about if being a victim gives you some extra insight to where you're like, oh, hell no. No, he didn't make up no story about this real traumatic shit that we've been through. In the name of some gotta be some bullshit. I don't give a fuck what it is. That's what you're gonna use to make up some shit. And then the more you hear, the madder you get. That's gotta be an asshole, Zerlina. Maybe it's somebody who is not with the shits. Maybe it's somebody that use their common sense. I want to say somebody that was intelligent, but you don't even have to be extra intelligent to have figured out from the first day that was a bullshit story through and through. And that's why you really feel stupid, because you call yourself a professional, you call yourself a journalist, you call yourself a grown woman, you feel like you're an advocate for whatever, for LGBT, and you know you're a black woman, and you never wanted to entertain the idea that you might be selling out. So to protect your own feelings, you can't call this motherfucker a lie. But what you don't realize is that the same motherfuckers are supremacists who can't call the president a lie. Can't. Oh, they flipping the switch. They mad because I'm speaking truth. Oh man, they ain't gonna want me to upload this video. I'm sorry, government. Quit choking me out. The government done flipped the cough switch on my black ass. Oh man. Been here long enough anyway though. I got caught up. Y'all know what it is. Ooh, they got mad at me for almost telling y'all everything. I wasn't gonna tell them. I wasn't gonna tell them everything, government. Eagle eye. I don't hardly have no ears listening to me while y'all picking on me in my little throat. Nah, I don't really think they can. You know what? I don't know what they can control, so who knows? And let me just say, I was gonna go into pharmaceutical and versus vitamin C, but I ain't gonna do that. Not in this video. Anyway, I think the person asked me if I support gay rights because they think it's a some end game, and they think just because I don't believe a person that tells an obvious lie, that it's an obvious lie, that's an obvious lie, then I must not support gay rights. Them two things ain't related, boo-boo. And that's why I said, y'all don't... You need to change your slogan from believe victims to believe the story. Because that's what you really want people to do. You want them to believe the story. So they can go ahead and be conditioned to enable the predators that are already out there. Believing the story is a greater enabler for predators to continue their victimization. So, carry on, my sheeple. Dumbass. And these are people with platforms, so I don't even know what to tell you. Then don't use it, boo-boo. If you find that you don't like cannabis, don't use it. I would say, though, and I believe I've said this before, I would say, though, to don't try it only once and decide that you don't like it. And that's just not for me, and that's not for my benefit, that's for your benefit. Because humans have an embedded fear of the unknown. So if you already have a fear of the unknown embedded in all the images and impression that you got about how the fatality and poisonousness of it, when you first try it and it alters your mindset, that could be alarming for you. And an alarm, feeling of anxiety and alarm, there's a thin line between excitement and trauma. So if you already have a fear of the unknown, you're trying something the first time, changes your psyche, and because the whole concept of your psyche being changed involuntarily, that's alarming. But the only thing keeping you content is to know that you're safe. Now, if you're the type of person that has full faith in that safety, you're going to lean more toward excitement for sure. And that's going to, right off the bat, be a good experience for you. If your fear of the unknown leans towards trauma, that first experience using it could prove to be disturbing for you, just because the anxiety that builds up from whatever trauma you have based on what's been embedded to your head to believe about it. So these people were really, really, I don't want to say gullible, but they were susceptible to the information that it was fatal and it was deadly and it'll kill you, it's no good for you, it'll make you crazy. So when they wake up and realize it's medicinally helpful and doesn't harm you, it's scarier for them going in. These people, they just didn't do it because of those things that everybody was told. And these people chose to just go all in and believe. These people didn't necessarily believe it. It didn't apply to them. I'm not even old enough to smoke, so I don't care one way or the other. And then they act like people are coming to school offering us weed when that ain't happening. Or if it is happening, you just be like, no, and ain't nobody gonna hold no gun to your head if you don't want it. So, whatever. But they're like, oh, so word? We finding out that they lied anyway? Well, let me try that shit. So they ready. They already ready. These people, though, they've been brainwashed and fooled. They've been brainwashed too. But they were just like, okay, whatever, we're just not supposed to. These people was like, oh my God, it's horrible. It's going to end your life. You're going to lose your home and everything you ever lived for and built if you do this drug, because it's like meth. They think it's like meth. They believe it. These people don't care if it's like meth or not, because they just not going to do it because it's illegal. And so they just said don't do it. So if you get these two people and it starts to be illegal, these people are going to enjoy it off the bat, and you are going to have these people who have the question and end up saying, what if I don't like it? I would advise these people to try it more than once, because you might still not like it. You might still not like it. Because everything really ain't for everybody. Even if it is for 99 out of 100, that one could be you. And you don't get to play. Too bad, so sad, I don't know what to tell you. Become an alcoholic, I guess. Get on them opioids. Hit them opioids. I'll holler at y'all next time. I think it's cool I get to edit this before it goes up. It's just been hard to do because I've been sick. So I haven't been keeping up with nothing. But I love you. All right, I'll holler.